You know, I really need to stop talking. Why does it do that? About this game? Get the fuck back here. Like, I just can't help myself. You know, I have a couple of thoughts about the game that I have to get off my chest. And one of them is, well, back up. I know, like, remember the whole piracy craze that happened in the early 2000s? Of course you don't. But I do, like, you had shit like, oh, you wouldn't download a car, so don't download this, that, and the other. And it got to the point where, like, I know a friend who used to pirate, like, the Nirvana albums online. And he and, like, 300 people actually legitimately was, like, convicted of doing this. And they eventually, and he was like 12. And they eventually dropped this because it's like, we're not throwing a bunch of fucking 12, 13, 14-year-old kids in jail. You know, if you want to go after them, you do it yourself, but quit wasting government fucking time to do it. And that completely fizzled out. And the thing was also with games, right? And it's fascinating because you have Gabe Newell of Steam saying piracy is an accessibility problem, right? So it is on you, again, because you'll never fight piracy, right? It's a force of nature. And I genuinely, in my heart of hearts and in my soul, believe that. But that was until just recently, right? You have Suicide Squad that is so terrible, that is so bad, that people aren't even pirating the game. Hey, what can I say? I guess I'm wrong, Lucy. Like, Lucy's absolutely having a heart attack. Like, what? You're wrong? Like, yes, I've been wrong. I'm wrong. I guess the one way to fix piracy is to make a product so shit that people don't even bother. And Suicide Squad is definitely one of them games. Like, I think they have, like, what, 200 ish recurring players. And this is a game that costs, like, $200 million to make. And they're barely retaining anything, like, anybody. And it begs the question, well, why the fuck did you make the game? And this is Rocksteady, right? Like, they invented. Lucy, you're fucking laying on the cord of my mic. Am I still on? Yes, I am. Like, they invented the blueprint of, like, hero fighting games. Like, they made Arkham City and the Batman games. And I think they made some of the Injustice games. So, they invented the blueprint, but now they absolutely flopping. And you seen that with Gotham Knights and with Suicide Squad, and it's just odd. It's like, okay, so why couldn't you have just, like, I understand why you couldn't have made the product right, the right way, right? Because you wanted investor money and you wanted Sweet Baby, and again, companies are falling for this because they effectively want funny money, which is money you get for nothing, right? So when with the great one of the, like, economy crashes in the early 2000s, companies gladly sucked up government money. With COVID again, they sucked up government money, and now ESG is just the new funny money idea. Like, they just want to suck up money, and I think the future is going to be. I didn't make this a video. Apparently, companies are working hand in hand with, like, the state and the government to look for, what is it, like, what were they looking for? Like, I can't even think of the word. Like, one, I think it was like sexism in video games, or like, Lucy, I can't think of the word. You're not helping. Radicalization in video games, which again is companies working hand in hand with the government, with institutions to go after the consumer. And I find this just to be completely wild. Like, This is the cyberpunk dystopian future. But that's we ain't talking about that now. Right now, I'm shitting on Suicide Squad. And again, what more can be said except they've literally fixed piracy. And I think other games will follow suit. Because again, games are not for gamers anymore, right? They're for investors. They're for ESG and investment money. Because they have got to know that this game would not sell, Lucy. You're on the fucking court again. Like, they had to have known. Like, these are things you know, right? Because the sales of, like, the previous thing is usually predicated off what came before. I believe what came before was Gotham Knights. Was that made by Rocksteady? I believe so. And it kind of flopped. And this absolutely flopped. And again, it cost $200 million to make. And it flopped. So, again, any product that comes after this is destined to flop. Right? And even if it ends up being a good game, even if whatever game they make after this ends up being good, right? Just happens to be good. Again, it will flop because this flopped. Like, yeah, again, it takes, years to build up a brand, but it takes what? A couple of seconds to destroy a brand. And Rocksteady has absolutely destroyed their brand with this need to suck up ESG and to have sweet baby consultants and make this absolute schlock of a game. And again, it's unfortunately so many game companies are falling down this rabbit hole. Like, yeah, it's Skull and Bones from Ubisoft. I mean, I don't even know what the fuck Activision's doing. Remaking the next Call of Duty or Modern Warfare. EA did come out with the classic Battlefront, and I'll get on that in another video. Yeah, Saints Row. Again, all the things you've grown up with, right? Borderlands. All the IPs you've grown up playing and were bangers are now following suit. Right? They want funny money. And again, you have developers that don't want that, speak up against this, and I either get fired or replaced or kicked out. And there's some developers that have come together and made their own studio and is now making their own games, but I understand why others just keep their fucking mouth shut. Because it's like they know the downward trajectory. Like, they get a paycheck either way. It's like maybe at first they care. And again, these are developers that worked here for companies 10, 20 plus years. And again, they just treat it like any other job. And again, I think it's unreasonable to demand that they quit or take the fall or fall on the sword just for you. Like, I completely understand why developers would just keep their fucking heads down, suck up a paycheck, and do the do. Eventually, they get laid off. They come together. They make a company of their own, and hopefully, they release a product that slaps. And again, you have all the layoffs happening of the game industry, and there's many reasons why, but all I can say is layoffs are just not indicative of a healthy environment and a healthy industry, especially if it's across many companies, right? And of course, they'll blame COVID for the 97th millionth time. And again, they're trying to convince me that in a time where people are literally forced to stay indoors, they couldn't release a product that's primarily digital, right? Whatever. Anyway, that's all I gotta say about this. See ya.